You're watching Good Morning Nigeria, and newspaper review is up next.
And Chukwudi Okolubaja joins us for the newspaper review. A pleasure to welcome you, Chukwudi.
How are you doing, Victor?
I'm well.
Morning. Jumai,
good morning. Now? Okay.
Morning.
Good to see you.
A bit chilly, you know, somewhat chilly. But it's okay.
It's fine.
It's seasonal. Chilly for you, not for me.
Oh, okay. We know those lines.
And I'll start with the Nigerian pilot. And the lead, the bold headline reads, remit 72 billion naira within 60 days. And the Reps Committee fumes. Orders Just Disco to remit 72 billion naira to FG within 60 days. Orders Kano Electricity Distribution Company to pay 40.7 billion naira debt within 30 days. Committee's decision followed 2021 report of Auditor General and documents from NBET. It warned that FG could no longer tolerate non-compliance by operators in power sector. And that's in relation to the 2.6 trillion naira power sector debt. Above that, Senate probes frequent incidents in aviation sector. That's on page 7. Gunmen kill 13 persons in Fresh Plateau attack. It's on page 6. Governor Diri, Speaker, other lawmakers resign from PDP. All right, let's go to the blueprint. And the blueprint has this headline, Nigeria's inflation eases to 18.02% as Naira firms up. Experts hinge lower food prices on monetary fiscal reforms. Okay, above the nameplate, FG to accelerate judicial process for awaiting trial. That's according to Tunjojo, and the story is on page 7. 50% UK Conservatives want Badenoch out before election. That's according to a poll. And they show preference for Robert Jenrick. And the picture story here details Delta stakeholders, including the member representing Bumadi Patani Federal Constituency, Nicholas Mutu, Government Ekpemu Polo Tompolo, Minister of Aviation and Aerospace, among others, during the fundraising ceremony for the Delta State Security Trust Fund in Asaba on Wednesday. And as the Rabas Kefas warms up, Diri's resignation depletes PDP governor's rank to 8. Defectors justify my support for Tinubu. That's according to Wike. For Ben Murray Bruce, president's leadership drives my attraction. And from Dixon, they are all running from their mess. That story is on page 8. Jumai.
Yes, let me quickly go through the Daily Trust. You've read some of the headlines, so I'll take the ones you've not read. And just below the masthead of the Daily Trust newspaper, Sultan seeks social media regulation at Ulama meeting. You'll find the details on page 6. And fuel price climbs to 1,000 as queues resurface. Find the details on page 3. Nigeria loses bid to host Commonwealth Games. Details on page 30. And Odinga's death creates vacuum in Kenya's opposition. Details on page 25. Jonathan, that's former President Jonathan, decries abandonment of projects. Details on page 6. And on page 4 of the Daily Trust newspaper, court squashes suspension of political gatherings. That's about what I have on the Daily Trust newspaper. Mr. Chukwudi.
Yes, Sultan seeks social media regulation at Ulama. You know, we started talking about this 2 ministers ago. You understand what I'm talking about? We still have not done it. I think it's the fear of being accused of clamping down on freedom of expression. The West would always pick up when such a thing happens in Africa and all that. But I'm one of those who feel that what is happening on social media simply has gone overboard. How do we do it? That's the big question. You didn't mention the fuel price.
I did.
You did, okay. It climbs to 1,000 naira, queues resurface. The Daily Trust is actually saying that the last time petrol price got to 1,000 naira and over was in April. You know, some motorists are saying that dealers are hoarding petrol to push up prices. They call that sabotage. But some other people are saying that is the face-off between Dangote and Pengasin, the ripple effect, you know.
And the grass will naturally
what we
suffer.
are interested in is quick probe of what is behind this and rectification setting in immediately. You know, we don't want to hear the stories. They don't mean anything to us.
They don't mean anything.
You know, the purchasing power. I'm happy. NBS has just talked about inflation dropping to 18.3%. You said, okay, from 18.2 from 20 point something in August. That means the economy is improving. IMF said yesterday something very favorable. They revised Nigeria's growth to 3.9, you know.
So what about the purchasing power?
But that's where I am going. The purchasing power of the individual Nigerian is the problem.
Has not changed.
Jumai, it is not good. When people wait the wrong go meet when things hard before, they now find people where they go wrong go meet.
Yes.
That tells you where we are. So how do you reflate the economy? How do you re-energize the pocket of the individual? Is it provision of employment opportunities? Is it raising of the minimum wage? The immediate one will be raising of the minimum wage. But then they ask you, what is the percentage of Nigerians who are in government employ? You understand? So these are very big problems. I'm not going to call them intractable. They are soluble. They can be solved over time.
Over time.
But there has to be real effort towards that direction. The purchasing power is gone. It is totally gone.
And the defection shows no sign.
Are we slowly walking through a one-party system in this country?
I don't know whether one-party system could ever work in Nigeria. Even if the APC succeeds in getting, how many does PDP have now?
8.
Just 8.
Yes.
5 have left, 5 or 4. My Delta was one of them, or is one of them. I don't think Nigeria can get to a one-party state. It's the situation is dynamic. APC could get 26 governors now when the election is won.
It happened during Jonathan's time.
Yes. But way in, you might find that within the APC, some rifts will develop that will make some people start thinking otherwise again. So it's a dynamic situation in Nigeria. I don't think a one-party state is really an option in this country. Our dynamics don't quite support that.
The court squashes suspension of political gatherings.
What did you say?
Court squashes suspension of political gatherings. I think it's on page 4 of the Daily Trust.
Okay, actually, I didn't read that.
Yeah, Kaduna State High Court has ruled that a bid by the Commissioner of Police to suspend all political meetings and rallies across the state was unlawful, unconstitutional, and amounted to gross abuse of power. Freedom
of association is probably being touted there. But the political gatherings, are they in violation of anything related to INEC? That's the point you have to, are they trying to beat the gun? Otherwise, political parties would always meet. They would always meet. So I don't quite get the drift of that story. You know, they have to explain why that is happening.
Nigeria loses bid to host Commonwealth Games.
Well, it's okay. It will get to our turn one day. That is where I will stop that analysis. The oversight functions of the lawmakers is very important. How much are they asking the what do you call them? The people who distribute power to us? You know, the discos. How much are they asking them to remit to government now? I heard 60 million somewhere, then 40.
72 billion
in all.
Somewhere 40.
That's it.
No, 72 billion in Jos. Kanu 40.7.
That's it.
Billion. So
I was saying that the oversight functions of the National Assembly cannot be underestimated at any point. You know, beyond their they're meeting, you know, okay, sorry, let's drop that aspect. It doesn't quite further the discussion. The point is that you cannot let these discos go on as if no supervision is needed to get them to do their job. People tend to be sympathetic towards them, people except the consumer, you know. They will say, no, they have nascent problems, teething problems and all that.
Teething for how long?
Teething will keep on teething till eternity if you do not come down on them. I think this is very important. If they think this is unfair, if they think it's unfair, let them go to court. Otherwise, let what the lawmakers say happen. Because it's becoming something else.
You are beginning to sound like some politicians. Go to court.
You always talk to me like this because you hate the fact of a billionaire sitting close to you. Is this how we're going to invite you into our club?
Amen.
You have to become a little more respectful for us to consider you.
Yes,
Well,
you know,
there are several other stories, really.
Odinga's death creates very
Oh, Raila.
Yeah, Raila
Look,
Odinga.
when these icons, when these titans of Africa, when any of them exits, it's a lot of nostalgia coming
Yes,
back
yes.
because Raila Odinga really was
Really,
a big factor in the politics of his country. I mean, that's a Kenyan man.
Yes, that's a Kenyan, yes.
He gave opposition in a very modest and robust manner.
He
The
did.
way politics was in our times, you know? In PRP man was Aminu Kano times.
PRP,
I don't know. I hope I'm not sounding typically old-fashioned.
Yes, now.
There are days I want us to relive. But Gen Z, I don't know whether they think like me.
And just inside the Daily Trust newspaper, reps call for crackdown on hazardous pesticides.
You see, this thing about toxic elements in even fertilizer, you know, some people will tell you that poultry droppings and all that, they are better, organic and all that. So it's not just pesticides, it's even in the fertilizer itself. But what we don't know is whether the degree is up to what would cause health concern. Otherwise, the makers themselves know that elements in the fertilizer, in the pesticides, are harmful
To human.
I used fertilizer for the first time this year. The way the corn sprouted, I couldn't believe it. They were growing in my presence. You know, they turned greenish. They were yellowish. When I applied the fertilizer, the thing just transformed immediately. I said, is this what they're talking about?
That's what they're talking about. So I will come to your farm when it finally, so that I can come and eat some corn. Thank you so much.
Don't mind
for coming.
Jogode. He's an audio farmer. I've never seen anything from your farm.
He's jealous of
Have a great day,
Have a great day, Mr.
billionaires.
Chibudi.
My God.
We'll take a break now. When we return, our conversation will begin. Do stay with us.